So, it's the start of a new morning. The sun rises over the hills on the other side of the fjord, casting lovely light over the bay.
I feel like we would have woken with the sun.
Yeah. You and Rain wake up, because you didn't need that much sleep anyway, so I think right as dawn is breaking, first light, you wake up, and you see, the orc from yesterday is also camped out.
How's he looking? Is he gone green?
Well, he was already green.
Well,
You want to make a heal check to see how he's doing, because you did see him botch his...
Yeah. I suppose I'll help him. A 7.
A 7 plus your heal skill of 9. 9 plus
7, 16.
Yeah. He looks like shit. This looks like the early stages of an infection.
Oh shit.
He's sleeping pretty soundly. Like he's trying to sleep this off. You do have some herbs and ointment. This is not beyond your skill to treat.
Well, how far in the sleeping bag is he? Do I have to drag him out of that first?
Actually, you did pull him out of the sleeping bag to do the
he's
check.
still just zonked.
I think he woke up a little bit and then just fell back asleep again.
So does this mean I'm no longer oozing?
Let's find out.
Oh god. Let's get some ointment on you, lad. 15.
15, okay, plus your
9.
9. Yes, that's 24.
Why did we have to do this sooner?
Roll endurance and don't botch. Yeah, you're fine. So you'll probably need to sleep that off a bit, but you're good. Rain's
Rain.
looking around.
Hey! That was good.
Says, well, that was all very exciting. You want to start having a look around, see if we can find any other shifters?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could have a nosy at the herbalist, because, well, now I've just used some stock, I'll need to find some anyway.
So you're going to knock on the door?
Yeah.
I love this, we're getting some very kinetic engagement here. Okay, so you enter and you see a sort of androgynous looking half-elf. With quite a delicate build, rosy skin, ice blue hair, and orange eyes. They have quite intricate, looks to be hand-poked tattoos and a few piercings as well. Apparently making themselves some morning soup. So you can also see in this room there are a lot of pets. You see amongst other small critters, there's a snake, a very old dog sat by the fire, a cat, and also several sort of fish in the pond outside. All sorts of herbs and poultices and a lot of items that you recognise as being part of spirit path worship. So, come in. What can I do for you today?
Good morrow, my friend.
Good morrow.
I am travelling through on a mission to find more of my kind.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid there's not too many around here. Can't say I know of any other shifters in town. Okay, well, what I can maybe do, I might be able to put together a ritual for you. I'll need some of your blood, but we can use that to petition the spirits and ask them to help us look
For the
and
nearest.
see if there are any other shifters nearby who share your blood. So we can give that a go now, if you like. I'm Frost, by the way. I feel like we should probably introduce
Frost,
ourselves.
I'm Sky, and this is Rain
Fine.
of the Razor Claw clan.
Pleased to meet you. Okay, well, let's head to the garden. I'm just going to finish up my soup first. You guys want any?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of soup. And you all, after a sort of bit of a morning rest, head out into their garden. So you, Frost and Rain, all sort of gather around nice little Zen garden pond. It's probably at this point that Frost notices the unconscious half-orc in the garden. Oh, is this a friend of yours? Is he okay?
He's at the early stages of an infected wound, but I'll just help stem that for now.
I think Frost goes over to look at that and says, oh wow, this is pretty impressive work.
Thanks.
They head over to the pond, and kind of sit down again. They gather a bag of, I think actually they kind of pick them off some of the plants around the pond and sort of start to sprinkle them into the water, sort of kind of tracing a circle around the edge of the pond. Then takes a pouch of something from their pocket, sprinkles some of that in, and then says, okay, now we're going to need just a little bit of that blood. They pull out an ornate looking blade. Take your palm, draw a little bit into the water, and where it touches the water, it kind of clouds outwards, more so than you'd expect for such a small amount. It sort of quickly pools, and some of the sort of petals and leaves in the water begin to take on a sort of luminescent sheen as it starts to kind of swirl on its own. Now, there's no real wind today, besides a very sort of gentle sea breeze. This is kind of swirling around quite a bit. There's a bit of wind picks up as well. You can see Frost kind of concentrating, but as they kind of knit their brows together and focus on the water, after a few moments, it stops. The water's returned to normal. And they say, oh, I'm sorry about that, I really thought this would work. I think we need more of a focus. It's just a little too impersonal at the moment. We're not really giving the spirits enough to help us find anyone in particular. I think if we had something belonging to the shifters that you're looking for.
I have a totem.
You do. That's kind of bound to you and your tribe, but you're looking for shifters from other tribes, aren't you?
I am.
Sorry, I can't really help you more at this stage. I'm going to try and gather some more specialty herbs, but that could take me a while. In the meantime, maybe there'll be something out in the wilderness that might belong to... I mean, I know shifters used to live around here, but I've not seen any while I've been living here.
How long have you been living here?
About 60 years.
Wow. Ooh, that's a few generations, isn't it?
Yeah, Frost looks about 20, by the way.
Yeah. Did you move here alone, or did you have a previous generation live here that you may have heard stories of?
Yeah, I mean, like my family's lived here for a few generations. I think, yeah, my grandparents used to tell me stories about shifters in the wilds near. I mean, there used to be a lot more of you guys around from the sounds of it. So I'm sure if you head out into the forest, you'll find something, especially if you kind of have a rough sense of what it is you're looking for. I don't think it has to be anything especially fancy. Just something that belonged to them, or especially if it had some kind of spiritual significance.
Cool. So general direction of the forest they used to live in is north.
I'd say southeast, because north is the sea.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the kind of the woods past the kind of the grasslands.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, best of luck. We're doing yoga later in the week. If you want to join in for that? Don't know how long you guys are staying here for.
I'll bear that in mind.
Okay, well, best of luck. Does your friend here need to stay here a bit longer, do you think?
I don't know. Can I give him a kick? Is he awake yet?
I think if you kick him now, you'll probably wake him up. Drake, you are lying in the dew glistening grass of a beautiful elfin garden, and you are
being towered over.
Yeah, you're not actually in as much pain as you were yesterday.
I'm not dying anymore.
Yeah, you look down, somebody's done a much better job
than I managed.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Sky is standing over you and has just kicked you.
What are you doing here?
Making sure you're alive.
What do you mean?
I'll fix your mess.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, in that case, I'd definitely appreciate that.
I don't think Frost will appreciate you camping here much longer.
So you're saying it'd be a wise move to get up and jog on? Well, there's nothing really here, because I was going to have a word with you to get some fixing, but this has already been done.
You were going to meet Lucy first thing in the morning for her hearing, and you can see actually...
But this is not first thing in the morning, is it?
No, it's not anymore.
Well, I owe you one. Please don't make it a big one. But I owe you one.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to go over to the trading company to have this meeting and get my paycheck.
Can I get up early in the morning and go over to the room?
Overland Reach.
Yeah, I'll go over there.
So you get up early. Most of everyone else at the bunkhouse is still asleep, And you walk up to the Overland Reach headquarters up in sort of Hightown area. The gates are open. There's a shop area, and then there's another building which looks like it's more administrative.
I guess the administration.
You walk in. There are kind of a few doors, somewhat like maybe stock rooms, and one of them says Regional Manager Risman Banan. Come in.
Hello. Are you the manager here?
She says, oh, Iron Belly, isn't it? You failed to attend your last meeting. I thought you'd left to join up with the expedition. Have you come back with a progress report? The person speaking is a dwarf woman in a crisp business suit with a shaven face, which seems very unusual to you.
Oh, I believe you have me mistaken. You're probably thinking I'm my brother, Bertram. I'm Wilbur.
Ancestors, how many of you are there?
Count gets a bit rough sometimes. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm looking for my brother. You said he hadn't returned, he was still with the expedition. So he's not returned yet.
Right, yes, no, we've heard no word for them in a few weeks now.
Were they meant to get any word back to you, or?
Yes, well, we were expecting to hear back from them by carrier pigeon, but no word has arrived. Are you part of a rescue expedition?
Not exactly. Nothing formal. Yeah, I don't know much about the expedition. What sort of details can you give me? Like, what were they meant to be doing?
Well, excavation expeditions are fairly common in our line of work. Yeah. The expedition headed southeast past Cinderwell so they could explore an old Turathi governor's estate. The benefactor of the trip came into possession of an old map that detailed the location of some ruins that supposedly there was a lot of treasure to be found in. I am afraid they did take the only map with them. The team were equipped here. They had a wagon of supplies and blasting charges.
How late is the pigeon?
Well, we were expecting it last week at the latest. This is about the point at which we would suspect that something had gone wrong.
Is there any fallback plans from you? Are you going to send a party out or anything?
Well, truth be told, we're running a little short on funds at this stage of operations. Most of the investment went into equipping the team to leave, with not so much in the way of a militarized security program to bring them back if the 20 or so armed expeditioneers were not successful. So I would certainly welcome your help looking for them, but there's not much aid I can provide you, I'm afraid. Dungeon crawling is not something to be attempted lightly. I recommend you should get a team together if you're going to go on a rescue mission into the wilderness. Not just any old grunts either. These have got to be people that you know you can solve problems with. It's a matter of survival out there, and you need people you can trust and work with to get out of whatever scrapes the wilds are going to throw at you.
Alright, thank you. Yeah, I think I'll just stomp out. Bye.
I think now we can probably go to Deanne and Aerith at the Moorview.
DMs?
We should knock on the door of that suite again. She did say in the morning.
It's up to you. You're in charge, yeah.
Ha ha ha, that is true. Yeah, last night was ridiculous. Let's knock on the door. That was a boring knock.
Okay, the door opens a little quicker this time. Although you did both just like have kind of a fun little who can do the better knock, which I think is still going when the door opens.
Yeah.
And the same young woman from yesterday is stood in the doorway. Like actually the door is open now.
Okay.
She has the red skin, ram's horns, and actually glowing yellow eyes you can now notice in the light.
Oh, cool.
That mark her out as a tiefling. Well, good morning both of you. So why don't you step inside and we can discuss our mutual friends.
I walk in and throw myself down on the sofa.
And I just walk in, shut the door, hang by the door.
She says, well, I expect you're both probably wondering a little bit about why you're here.
Desperately.
There are rumours that have circulated that I've picked up that indicate that the old Turathi arcanist of this province back in the War of Empires, possessed an artifact of considerable necromantic power. What I would like you to do is to search into the wilds, somewhere deeper into the peninsula, all these ruins. But beyond that, I don't know its exact location. Return this to our benefactors into Nevril, and you will receive the rewards that you have been promised.
And that's all the information you can give us.
We do like our secrets.
You want us to find something for you, and you can't give us any more information because you like your secrets.
Alright, in all honesty, I don't know what it is.
Okay, well that was very pretentious.
I don't know where exactly the villa was, but I can point you in the right direction. It's southeast of here, past the grasslands.
Since this is a work thing, our hotel should be covered, right?
Absolutely not true. I don't know what your reward for this task is. I've only been told to expect you and to provide you with the details of your task.
So, who told you this information? Are you some sort of historian of the region?
No. I'm someone who gathers information more than reads it. The Empire of Belcherath is not my personal area of expertise.
So, is there some other source where we could gather more information about this place?
Well, there's a library in town.
So they have libraries up and running here?
Yes, it's very different from back into Nevril. Yes, they're actually public access. Anyone can just walk in and take out a book and read it. It's wild.
Very curious.
Seems very counterintuitive.
Well, I'll have my fun in the library then.
Yeah, I think Gareth, maybe your eyes kind of light up at this realisation.
I think we should go to the library and maybe look for some old maps or public access blueprints.
Can you direct us to the library before we leave?
She invites you over to the window and points across to the Divine Plaza in the middle of the town, where there's a large temple and some very big-looking administrative buildings.
We're gonna head over there then.
Our work here is done.
We've
Never
seen
did quite catch your name.
Conviction.
Conviction, okay.
Dope.
On the way out, you didn't notice coming in, over the door is one of those symbol monkey toys, the really creepy ones.
Can I look at it? Slung over the door?
Resting on the mantelpiece, not the mantelpiece, the door frame, like a prankster might hang a bucket of water. One of these.
I'm just gonna use my staff and pick it up with the...
Hey, watch that.
Why?
It's expensive.
Why is it there?
Does that matter?
Yeah. Putting a creepy monkey over the door. What's it for?
Are you a fan of toys?
Perhaps it would be easier to demonstrate. This item possesses absolutely no magical qualities, and as soon as the word magical qualities comes out of her mouth, the symbol monkey immediately lights up its eyes and it starts screeching and banging its symbols together and points at her.
Ah, interesting. My name is Harold Appleseed.
It points at you again. Can you put that back, please?
I want to take it.
Well, you can't take it. It belongs to me.
Can I, whilst these two are engaged in this debate, can I have a perception check of the room, see if there's any other artifacts? Or
so you're trying to case the room while you're in it, while she's also in it?
No, not case it, sort of just have a look around.
Like to risk check?
Yeah, well, not just that, just I'm curious, I want to know a bit more about Conviction.
Conviction.
And her background, and why she's here.
What she does here? Okay, yeah,
She's
I'll allow
keeping
that.
anything from us.
Give us a perception check.
This is happening.
9.
Plus, what's your levels for 13?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll give you some stuff like that. You see, this is quite a lived-in room. It seems that she's stayed here for a while. Perhaps she's a sort of semi-permanent tenant of the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't any more apparently magical items or unusual items that you can determine past the fact that there's a lot of, shall we say, erogenous paraphernalia. Some restraints, some other items I'm not going into too much detail of. I guess you recognise those.
So, I'm thinking to myself here that perhaps the hotel will know more about her than she's going to tell us.
Listen, before you go, I think you're going to need more than just one bodyguard to make that expedition safely. Best get hold of some hired muscle before you leave town. shame, really. A bunch of dwarves came through not long ago, headed down that way. You probably could have tagged along with them.
Do you know what the dwarves were doing?
Now that I think about it, if they were travelling, I think they were travelling down there to excavate some old Tarathi ruins as well. Not that there's any shortage, but if they're after the same item, you might want to hurry.
We've got to hurry then.
Yeah, let's go.
Gather.
Wasn't there a sweaty, smelly dwarf on the carriage with us?
Yes.
Maybe he knows something.
Maybe.
We're gonna go find the small man.
So you're looking for Wilbur?
Yeah.
Well, you saw them both head off in the direction of the bunkhouse, didn't you?
Aerith, should we head to the bunkhouse?
Bunkhouse. Good shout.
Let's go.
Amanda, you wake up at the bunkhouse.
Is Wilbur still there?
No, he is already up and left. So it's just you and this very large room full of lots of strangers you do not know. And you're starting to feel a little claustrophobic in here, actually. Because you're not too used to spending lots of time around other people.
Yeah, I'll leave.
On the way out, you notice through the front room coming through are a group of 14 goblins. They're armed. They have interesting sort of hexagonally patterned armour and quite tall shields. They're led by a particularly tall goblin. When I say goblin, it's a kind of blanket term for goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbears, which are a group of creatures. So hobgoblins are usually about 6 to 7 feet tall. So it's one of those that's kind of leading the group. And they seem to be asking Keith, his name was, at the desk some rather pointed questions.
I'm just going to see if I can overhear what they're asking about.
Okay, yeah. Well, give me a quick stealth check just to kind of eavesdrop without notice. 10, that's good. So you overhear them saying that they appear to be searching for their missing navigator. They want him to let everyone staying here know that they're putting out an 80 gold reward because they've been unable to find it. You hear them describe the navigator as Bugbear, which is the tallest sort of goblin creature. They are typically very hairy. Their missing navigator is about 7 feet tall, slight build with black fur and green eyes. So they have a sort of look around and then, satisfied, march out again.
Did they mention where they misplaced their huge friend?
They were actually quite short on the details about how they'd come to misplace their navigator. Their ship is anchored in the harbour.
Right, so it's just in town somewhere.
Yeah.
I go after them. So I
Okay.
actually need some more info on this. I need the dosh. Like that's some good dinaro.
Yeah, like 80 gold, that's $8 grand
Yeah.
in our money.
Yeah, she sort of stumbles after them. What? Wait!
Okay, yeah. The leader of them kind of turns around and looks
Down.
down at you. I mean, half the goblins there are goblins who are shorter than you.
Well, I'm good at tracking. I don't suppose you have any idea where he might have headed. Your lost friend, I overheard you were looking for someone.
We suspect it may have tried to escape, but...
Escape? So he's a prisoner?
Well, it's a knave. How much do you know about goblins, small friend?
If you're asking me if I know a lot about goblins, the answer would have to be no. And if you're asking me if I know anything about goblins, that would also be a negative.
Well, first and foremost, every true goblin is a warrior, a soldier for the Empire. Those of us who cannot or will not fight must perform other roles to support our glorious Empire. In this case, one of the knaves in our company, Vox, works as our navigator. It's not unheard of, while at dock, for someone of their position to try and escape sometimes. We don't know for a fact that's what happened. It's not something that it's ever attempted before. We also suspect the elf cleric in the dockyard of harbouring it, but we do not have any proof. We're under strict orders not to start any trouble here. So it would be difficult for us to go directly in and accuse them of doing this.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not a goblin.
It's difficult to tell actually what you are. I mean, you're about goblin height.
I mean, I'm not obviously anything in particular. I'm not affiliated with you.
I'm not going to say that looks like a pretty shoddy disguise to hide the fact that you're a goblin. Just that it's not something I would send one of my goblins in to do.
I'm very good at sneaking.
Yeah. Well, I encourage you to try it and hope that you succeed. The reward's yours if you can bring it back to us. Our ship is the Wave's Teeth, and she points down the harbour.
Right.
It's a very large warship with the same hexagonal pattern as their armour.
I'll go and see if I can investigate that, the cleric you mentioned. See if I can rustle up any evidence that they're harboring your conscientious objector.
Right.
Let's do this.
So you're definitely late for the hearing at this point.
Yes. So,
But you're not too late to go and collect your payment.
I'm never too late to collect a payment. I'm always on time for that. So I rock up into the trading company's offices. Who should I be speaking to?
I think the manager as well.
Got you. Okay. So I'll go up there and give it a very business-like knock.
Not the seduction knock you were going for before. I'll let them know that you're fun and flirtatious.
I'm not trying to seduce my manager.
No. I mean, that's a very good approach to life. I'm going to go ahead and say.
Should I write that one down for later?
Druick's life tips.
See, we laugh and we learn.
We do. So you knock on the door and you hear a voice say, come in. And who might she be? Do you have an appointment?
There was a convoy that came in yesterday with all passengers and cargo safely delivered. I was told to report today for payment.
Ah, yes. All stock safely delivered. Is that right?
All
Mr.
passengers,
Dustcarver,
all
was it?
passengers safely delivered.
All passengers safely delivered. That's true. All the stock was not actually safely delivered.
We had one bag of torches down. Apart from that, everything perfect condition.
Well, I think to pass them off as torches would be to sell a little short the value of those items. They were ever burning.
But they are torches.
True, but the whole ever burning part, you see, may indicate perhaps their value, which was certainly higher than the 5 gold you were to be paid. So I'm sorry to inform you will not be receiving that wage.
Well, this seems grossly unfair. I
would be
instructed.
grateful that you are not being arrested along with the driver.
The driver got arrested, did she?
That's right, yes, for mishandling
no.
of company goods.
What are the prisons like down here? I'm quite a big fan of not going to jail, so I'm going to wind my neck
If there
back
wasn't
into-
anything else, I'm quite a busy woman.
You wouldn't happen to know if there are any other jobs going with you?
Are you looking for a recommendation?
I'm looking for an opportunity.
I mean, I had something prepared for if you'd done well.
It wasn't my fault we
She'd
didn't do
recommend-
well. It wasn't my
I mean,
fault.
you're only in charge, so. He says, well, I suppose you might be a reasonable fit for Barricade. They're our private military, or private security force that we run. If I had managerial authority for that branch of the corporation, perhaps I could put in a word. As it stands, I could mention you, if you really would like that. I suppose we've had worse candidates recently.
Yes.
And then you see her think for a moment. She says, actually, having a reasonably capable agent who isn't officially linked to the company could be quite useful. If you're interested in a potentially lucrative opportunity, perhaps you should check back in a few days.
Those are my 2 favourite words.
A few days or potentially lucrative?
I'm going to set myself up at the bunkhouse and see if there's any errands going around there. With that, I'll see you in 3 days.
If so, I think on the way out, as you're walking down, you see somebody looking around in the courtyard.
I'm going to check out what that is.
Hmm.
Who they may be. Is that a perception?
No, I don't need to make. I mean, you could make a stealth roll to hang back and not make yourself known as you sort of hang back in the doorway.
I'm not going to do that.
No,
That was a 5.
That was a 5. Okay, so you definitely make yourself obviously known as you sort of and then walk back into. The door's closed. Looking in your direction is a slim half-orc woman with very short black hair and very expensive-looking clothes, sort of quite a aristocrat's dress. You can see from here even golden jewellery.
So she looks quite wealthy.
Yes.
And she seems to be looking for someone or something.
And she's actually walking over to you now.
Oh.
It might be that she's found who she was looking for.
Hi, are you looking for someone or something around here?
Actually, yes, you wouldn't happen to be Dust Karma, would you?
The very same. That's oddly specific. But yes, that's me.
Yeah, she looks around a bit more, and she says, I was wondering actually if we could have a quick discussion in private. Do you have a moment?
I've got 3 or 4 days.
Again, oddly specific, but okay. Would you mind telling me exactly what your business is here in this town?
Well, potentially freelance security work. We've just delivered a shipment of cargo and I'm searching for further employment.
I see. Roll a diplomacy check, please. Yeah.
Oh.
Did you botch that?
Yeah.
So you managed to look so fucking shifty while saying this.
I was telling the truth.
I know, you're just that bad at talking to people, I guess. Maybe you're still a bit shaken up at how bad.
You've still got a patched up wound.
And you also did like try to avoid her almost, as when you
That is
first
true.
noticed. So she says, "Oh, that's interesting. Okay." I popped down to the gatehouse early this morning, and I saw your name on the register there. The Sergeant Ice Diver at the gate procured. She had a few interesting words to say about you as well, actually. Your tribe, the Dust Carver clan, if I'm not mistaken, which I rarely am in matters of international politics, are employed as mercenaries by the state of Ironmere. Is that correct?
We have been known.
As in, you are currently in their employ, I believe.
Me personally, I'm in more of a freelance capacity, but as a tribe, yes.
Wow, okay. Perhaps I should introduce myself. My name is Simone. I'm a diplomat from Amberhold. What the state I am from is all about is ensuring peaceful and harmonious political balance throughout the states.
I'm all about peace.
That's, yes, as a mercenary captain, I'm sure that's true.
It's my driving force.
As I'm sure you may know, the ink on the peace agreement signed between your employers and the state of Nathos is not yet dry on the page. And today I find an armed agent of Ironmere suddenly appearing here in Beacon Forge, ostensibly just passing through, looking for a bit of work.
Yeah, allegedly.
I would like for you to give me a sterling reason why I should not be concerned as to your being here. For all I know, I can be paranoid, but please afford me this. You could be here gathering information, you could be here as a saboteur, you could be here to try and gain military aid. As I understand it, Ironmere was not doing particularly well in that conflict before the disarmament was agreed. Please understand my situation. I'm just trying to make sure that nothing untoward is afoot here.
Well, I can absolutely assure
And
you.
if I'm not convinced, perhaps the guards.
My interest in this town was purely financial, purely short term, and purely independent. I've not had contact with my tribe for a good long time now, and I'm not entirely sure that they'd welcome my presence back in. I'm quite happy picking up jobs as and when and how and where, unaffiliated from the rest of my tribe.
I see. Give me another diplomacy roll. For telling the veiled truth.
Yes!
For the 20.
It's a natural swing.
You see her eyes soften a little. She's no longer in attack mode on this one. Very well. Well, hopefully that'll be the last conversation we need to have.
I don't like this lady.
Well, do try to keep out of trouble, I suppose.
You don't have any jobs going, do you?
Oh, he's so needy.
I think poor is the phrase.
Yeah, dick poor, I think, actually, yeah.
No, okay, I understand when one overstays one's welcome. I'll be heading out now.
Well, good day, Mr. Duskcarver. And
Good-
she
good
strolls back off. I guess you both walk out of the gate in the same direction. You're both
We do
going-
that thing where we say bye and bye, and then we keep walking for a little minute, it's really awkward, and then we say
Yeah.
bye later.
So as she sort of heads off back towards the Divine Plaza, you see Wilberforce Ironbelly sauntering merrily up. Well, I suppose not merrily, heading up the street in your direction.
Yeah, it looks like I'm on a mission. I'm walking.
Yeah, he's definitely on a mission.
I'm just gonna shout, "Orc!"
Me or her?
oh, sorry.
We have names, you know. Got names.
Druid, was it?
Yeah, that's
Hello. Do you need a job? I need a warrior.
Well,
I mean, if you're busy, then fine. But I need.
what exactly are we talking about here?
Let's call it a rescue mission. Pretty exciting.
Rescue.
Yeah, essentially, my brother is in danger. I think I'm going to need some help. I can pay you. My family is part of a large trading group. You know, I know you're a guard. I feel like I can trust you. I need some sort of help at the minute. I'm going to gather a few people. If you're not interested, fine. But,
Where would we be heading off to?
we would be heading off to going to find some ruins which my brother was part of an expedition. I was very worried about him anyway, but he's not been in touch with the company, so I need to find him.
And you said there'd be some financial compensation for my efforts.
Yeah.
That sounds reasonably fair. See, I'd have to mull it over. I'm not a fan of being patronised, and if we're gonna, I assume there'd be some danger on this mission.
The most danger.
So, well, if you're looking for a guard, there'd be some sort of combat involved, and if that's happening, then we need to make sure we've got, you know,
Well, I've seen you fight, and I know you're injured, but you can at least wield a weapon.
yeah, I can wield a weapon better than you gave me credit for. That's for sure.
We'll see how it pays off. Maybe I don't want to hire you.
Okay, fine, but we need to make sure that any combat is done reasonably by the book, and if we have a plan, we stick to it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If we get a plan, let's just stick to that plan, okay?
Yeah, I'm good at plans.
And then
don't worry.
we'll all be fine.
Brilliant.
Okay.
I'll meet you. Have you been to the bunkhouse?
Not yet. I was gonna head down there.
Right. I'll meet you there this evening. If you're still interested.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
So, you two managed to make your way through to the Divine Plaza. So there's a large square in the middle with, I didn't actually draw it on here, but a large sort of fountain scape in the middle, and kind of a large sort of paved communal area. And there's a temple.
Town hall.
Town hall. Shit, okay. Well, you get the town hall there. You've got the temple, the town hall, and you've got a few other buildings which are labelled as
The Academy of Engineering.
and
Council
officers. Council officers.
I guess go towards the town hall to look for the library.
I think it's actually in the Academy of Engineering. You can see
Alright, okay.
a library there.
Okay, well let's head into that then.
Okay.
What's the place we're looking for stuff on again?
You're looking for a villa owned by the governor of the region during the War of Empires, which was fought between the empires of Arcosia and Baal-Chirath, which is actually an Aerith specialist subject.
Yay! I can help. Can I use a knowledge roll then, so I can have a better
So you're going in and hitting the books.
understanding, of what we're looking for.
Okay, yeah, give me, because, so you enter here, and this is an incredible experience for you, Aerith, because you've walked into this big library, and it's like all the books, you can just see them and just grab them.
Yeah.
And not in the sense that like you have to break in to steal them, in that they're just freely on display, and people are just walking in. People of all ages, of all apparent socio-economic standing.
I still feel a bit shifty in here, like I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, there's somebody actually kind of reading one aloud. The demeanour is like they're helping them with their homework, kind of, so helping them to understand some areas.
This is odd.
So you filter through, and you're able to. It's signposted. Find an area with books and scrolls detailing the Chirathi occupation and local history. So I'd like you to make me a history roll with a significant bonus.
2.
Can I make some kind of roll to look for maps after Aerith is finished?
Well, I mean, what Aerith is doing currently is, I think he's just a little overwhelmed and still very anxious about being in a library and not having to watch his back for people coming to kill him for being in there.
He's kind of crawling up the shelves, licking the books.
Yeah. So I think now's a good time for you to make your roll, because he's not found anything useful.
Okay, I want to look for, I guess, dated maps of the local area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
If you can make me a history check to know what time period you're looking for.
Okay. 19.
19. Yeah, you get straight in there. I mean, you know, this predates the imperial calendar of the last empire, but you have enough understanding of previous. You can kind of cross-reference it, and some of them have actually been updated with like negative dates.
Okay.
So you can manage to sift through those. Very helpfully, they've been labelled those times.
Okay.
And you managed to find a map that lists certain key settlements, but it's all written in a language you don't understand.
Human.
Yes,
You read a lot.
I do read a lot.
Do you know what this language is?
Let me
And
have
I'll
a
show
look.
Aerith the thing,
Do
'cause
I know this?
I only know like regular ass talking language and Dwarven. So I'm assuming that's not Dwarven.
Nope.
Aerith, you know the common tongue, but you can also read and speak Chirathi.
Ah.
So you can read plain as day. This is a list of
Interesting.
colonial era imperial settlements, and you've heard the name of one of these before, which leads you to believe that it was the largest, most important settlement. And based on where the colonists tended to build their sort of villas for military governors, you would suspect that you know which one it would be nearby.
So I know a region in which
Yeah, you know the directions ahead of
we should search.
Thank you kindly.
This is my duty.
Did you say that there was just a list, or was there a map?
There was a map, and you've got you know which town you're looking in the vicinity of.
Okay, so it's like, is it sort of labelled this?
Yeah,
This place is here and so on.
it is. Yes.
Okay.
Now that town is almost certainly no longer there,
Yeah,
because there have been 2 falls
Yeah.
since that date.
but we know we're exploring ruins, so
Yeah.
can we check the map out, or
So you take it over to the desk, and the librarian there.
can we just run? Can we just walk out?
You're gonna steal it.
Yeah, let's just steal it.
Okay, give me
I'm
a
all about stealing
thievery
knowledge.
check to pocket the map without anyone noticing.
Is this not a lending library?
You didn't even ask.
Could we not ask to borrow the map?
No.
Okay.
3. That's a 3.
Fuck!
So you are seen.
What's my natural larceny?
It's not going to save you from a 3, buddy. You are immediately seen pocketing this large scroll, trying to kind of like stuff it into your bag.
Fuck.
Like you try to put it under your jacket, but no, that's not going to work. And it's the bag, maybe then some stuff falls out of your bag.
No! No!
You're also like over 7 feet tall, like covered head to toe in like spiked leather with massive curly silver hair. Like people have been kind of looking at you funny since you walked in, and now they're watching you try very poorly to steal from the library.
This is just what we do back in my country.
A guard is stood by the door with, and you've seen these people when you walked in, 2 knights in sort of quite impressive looking polished plate armour with a tabard, and this one is the same blue colour, but it has a symbol of a castle on it and flames behind it. And they kind of stand by the door as a regular guard, city guard, walks over to you.
Okay, well, I'm just going to quickly walk over to the librarian with the map, like, clearly out in my hand, like, it's fine. I'm going to bring
What's
this
fine?
map.
Okay, right. We do charge for these are very old maps and part of our local history, so we would prefer it if you didn't. Is it for? May I ask what you're taking it out for?
For an expedition, for a journey.
Right. So you would be taking this out of the town.
No, we're using it for plotting.
Okay. Are you not able to do that from within the library?
Can we make a full sketch of the map?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, I'll do that then.
They're able to provide you with some paper and charcoal or something, and you can transcribe the map and the location. Watch like a hawk.
Yes.
I should add.
I figured.
Because these people already don't trust you as like a very over-the-top wizard. And the first thing you've done is walked into their library and tried to steal from it.
What's not to trust?
Whilst Deanne's doing that, can I look for books on that town that I have heard of before? See if there's any deeper
Try and come up with a name for it.
scripture.
Yeah. You managed to dig up Aerith in your studies like a child on Christmas morning in the biggest sweet shop factory. You managed to dig up all this information about the town that you found called Metium.
Okay.
It's an old market town that also served a large sort of military presence there, stationed towards the end of the War of Empires. What you discovered was that the rival army of Arcosia invaded the peninsula, coming up from the south and then just working their way upwards further into the Chirathi territory. And along the way they passed through this town, and in fact there was a staged battle at this governor's palace. It was pretty much a massacre for both sides. History does not reveal what exactly happened, but both sides were pretty much wiped out, not leaving really any survivors to recount the details of the battle itself, only that it took place at the palace. You also managed to dig up that this is almost certainly what you're looking for, because there is mention of a famous arcanist who was stationed at the palace, conducting all sorts of research into infernal magic and subsequent technologies. And that's about as much as you gather in your digging.
So we know for sure that this place is what we're looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Well, I guess Deanne will have finished the rubbing of the map.
Yeah.
So, we have the map, we have the info.
We're
I
definitely coming
think-
back here, by the way.
What?
We're coming back to the library.
I think we should start heading southeast. Although we were told that we might need to hire mercenaries.
You'd think when they sent us, they'd send us
With an
enough,
entourage.
yeah,
Yeah.
enough strength. But I guess not.
I think we should go see the dwarf because of the other dwarves who did head in the same direction.
Do all dwarves know each other?
Probably. I mean, they all look the same, right?
Well, I mean, it's worth a shot.
We'll be able to see his ginger hair like a beacon somewhere in the town.
Well, you know he was staying at the bunkhouse.
Alright, well, we head there.
Sky, you and Rain were going to go fishing by the docks, right?
Yeah.
So you're heading down into the town. On the way, you pass by some flyers passing through the town. Yeah, you're able to pay a bit more attention to the geography and architecture of the town now that it's daytime. So as you sort of pass through its narrow, cobbled streets, and you can see that a lot of the old town buildings still stand with very ancient stonework that's chipped and damaged in some places, some of which have been replaced with sort of much fresher, newer looking masonry. The fortifications, this drainage system you can see, where they've managed to channel rainwater that falls onto the stone streets into these artificial rivers passing through the town. And this divine plaza, it's labelled, that you pass down on the way. Those all seem much more new. You also see, like the others, when you get past the divine plaza, a lot of these armoured knights patrolling just that area specifically. And yeah, you also see some pieces of paper nailed to buildings, and one kind of particularly big notice board in the centre of town. There you see these flyers warning of rats stealing grain, and mention to talk to Sergeant Matlock if you have a suspicion of where they nest. Do not attempt to confront them. Some are the size of dogs. There's another one talking about the eel gang are active by the docks. 50 gold pieces available for the arrest of their leader or the location of their hideout. So you head down to the harbour. I assume you're going more for the shallows towards kind of the north side of town there.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you get to this area here, you see a group of people by the water's edge who apparently have beaten to it here before you. About 10 or 20 or so.
The difference between 10 and 20.
That's very, yeah, let's say 20. There's like 20 people around. Yeah, and they're all gathering at the edge of the water.
And a skinny dip.
And as you watch, they all disrobe and just launch themselves face first, just dive into the waves, and kind of all sort of surface shivering and just kind of like, yeah, really pumped, enjoying this icy cold morning dip. Among them is actually the gate guard you saw the previous night.
Ooh.
And another figure that stands out to you, apparently leading the group, is a short, pale-skinned elf woman with long white hair and eyes, who seems to be kind of, sort of patting people on the back and getting everyone as pumped as possible.
Interesting. What is happening? This is strange.
Yeah, you've never seen anything like this before.
No.
This sounds like a really weird concert.
Not fishing here then. Not for fish anyway.
I think you've been staying for long enough now. One of them says, come, join us.
Alright, thanks. It's warmer here.
You sure? Water's great.
Not a fan, fortunately.
Suit yourself. I guess at this point they're probably done. I think they're all just going to kind of walk back to the shoreline. I guess they've got towels ready, and they all kind of file into this building you see on the other side of the water, past the little bridge there, which looks to be, it actually looks like an abandoned derelict house. It's kind of half submerged even into the water, but they all go inside and you see some curves and some lights lit inside. I'm going to say maybe not all of them went back in there, like maybe a quarter of them went back in there, like the rest kind of them went back about, presumably the rest of their day.
Can I see what the building is? Is there a sign on the building?
Yes.
Is there a label anywhere?
A large sort of plank of knotted driftwood has been hung over the door in a very deliberate fashion, and into it has been carved the House of Salt.
I think it's a bit weird to snoop around a house that people have just gone into have to be naked together. This is all very strange to me, and I'm not okay with this. I wanted to fish, and I found naked people.
You could go and ask if there's a dedicated fishing place that it isn't for naked people.
The guy in the pub might know. The landlord.
Yeah, I was
Landlord's
thinking
not
about
everything.
going and talking to the pub landlord.
So is that the sailor pub or the bunkhouse?
The Rusty Anchor.
It's the Rusty Anchor. Okay, there's basically nobody in here at the moment. I mean, I suppose it's not that unusual given the time of day.
I'm still recovering from
But even then, like you say that, but it doesn't look like there was really anybody here last night either. When you came round, you did your kind of.
Yeah.
There weren't many people. It wasn't like a rowdy evening on the docks.
But there seemed to be a curfew, didn't there?
Yeah.
Like with the purple white.
Is anybody else up? Is it early enough for people to be allowed up in the morning?
Yeah, I mean, there were people milling around, certainly in the town.
So there's no like morning curfew.
No.
So even the guy who's supposed to own the place isn't around.
I mean, it's not closed. It's just that nobody's bothering to go in at this time.
Should I go mooch around the docks where the boats would be?
Yeah.
See if there's anything.
Do that. I'm going to say, you maybe saw this on your way in as well. There's actually this area where these strange artificial rivers meet the ocean.
This interesting.
You notice
This is not natural.
a place called Watius Fishery.
A fishery, that sounds fishy.
So maybe that's a place where you can go
That's a
and
good
fish.
place to go and fish.
Yeah.
I'll go there.
Yeah, inside. This does not look like a building where people do fish. Like, there's no water in it. That's a little strange. What you do see is a very tired-looking teenage boy elf
What else around here?
behind the counter. He has dark skin. He also has light green hair, but this one looks natural and violet-coloured eyes,
Cool.
which are very droopy and like only half open. He's just like walking zombie behind this.
Aww.
He barely notices you as you enter.
Morning.
Oh, morning. How can we help you today?
I was wondering if there's anywhere specific I could or have to fish.
I mean, we're not buying much at the moment. We're pretty well stocked.
Right? I just wanted fish for my journey.
Yeah, no, we can certainly sell you some. What are you in the market for? We've got cod, we've got trout, we've got plaice.
All the big hitters, all the big names.
I mean, we mostly sell in bulk. Are you after stock, or are you after like fish to buy to eat?
That one.
Okay, yeah, we could probably sell you some of that. Mainly charge a silver piece per whole fresh fish. We've got crustaceans by the barrel. We've got a small crab we can do, 5 copper pieces. We can do a nice lobster for 30. As you are talking to this person, 2 cloaked figures enter through the door, see you there talking to this person at the desk, and then promptly close the door and walk away.
You mean back out the way they came?
Yeah.
Okay. Who the fuck were they?
I don't know. I haven't ever seen them before.
Okay, I'm going to follow them through it.
Okay, bye. Good luck with your
Sneakily.
fishing.
Sneakily.
You're going to shadow these 2 people.
Yeah.
Right. Give me a stealth roll.
4.
I think maybe like you're having difficulty because I guess Rain's there with you as well. Like Rain's
Yeah.
not really hip to what you're doing here, and is still kind of confused.
At the whole building thing.
Yeah.
Buying fish when we could just go and catch a fish.
Yeah. So I think maybe like you're having difficulty like keeping the whole stealth thing going while also keeping her with you. So they kind of notice you following them and then kind of duck behind you now and you kind of keep the pace going. You can make a tracking check, I suppose.
19.
And you do have a bonus to tracking. Even in this strange stone ground everywhere, you can sense the dirt they've kicked up, I guess. I don't know that much about tracking. But whatever the right thing is to do, you do
Did it?
So you managed to this is much easier for you, I guess, than the shadowing, because you can just kind of keep back and follow them. So I think we'll get back to you afterwards. Next, I think we do Amanda. Last time we left off, you were going down to the docks to spy on this cleric. So they pointed you in the direction of a place called the House of Salt.
Oh, yay!
So you head off in that direction, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
from the docks. I guess you maybe pass Sky and Rain on the way. I guess they don't see you.
Oh god, those people I barely know, please don't notice me.
Yeah.
I hope they're not the sort of people who shout out to you across the street, because I'll die.
Relatable concept.
I duck into a side alley and...
Avoid them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nothing personal, I'm just...
No, we
garbage,
wouldn't notice you
anxious
anyway.
person.
They're really
We're,
antisocial.
we're tracking our own shit.
We're
We
looking
don't care
for
about
fish.
you.
So yeah,
Your first
I duck away, but I continue towards the House of Salt.
Okay, well, once you get into this alleyway,
I
that's just
shouldn't
kind
have
of-
gone. Why do I do anything? Fuck.
I guess I kind of wait for them to pass.
Yeah, I was sort of looking around this alley waiting for the alley to collapse on me. Or Ogre to jump out of the bin and be like, no, don't do it.
So that kind of like anxious tingling in your stomach at the perceived social interaction.
You guys have a heart attack.
In the game or in real life. And
Suddenly that feeling changes and you notice it's something more tactile almost. Something on your person. The dagger
oh god.
you're carrying with you.
Ooh.
It feels heavier and sort of tingling in a quite a nauseating way.
I'll get the dagger out and have a look at it.
You look it over and nothing else seems different about it, but the crystal embedded into the pommel, you notice it's glowing with a colour you've never seen it glow before. In fact, this isn't a colour that you recognise from anywhere.
Oh god! Oh no!
Could that be Lovecraft shit?
As you stare into it, all sensation of your physical body is numbed, and images of a disturbing landscape appear before you.
Oh.
The sky is a deep purple slick that shifts and flows as though made of a viscous liquid. All around you are a menagerie of grotesque alien creatures that lurch clumsily through a field of sticky, fibrous material that sprouts from the cracked, dry earth in clumps onto their filigreed hides. The fibres rest there for only a moment before appearing to meld with their flesh, cocooning them into place. One of the creatures bellows in distress, and you are startled to hear the pitch of its wail distort as its upmost appendages slough away from its imprisoned mass and slither out of sight. You can feel a presence within your mind. It's searching for something and testing, as though it's trying to see you. It can't, though, and for a moment it seems as though it's given up. Then it tries something different, and your vision once again changes. You see before you an ancient archway of crumbling marble set into the side of a hill. Then a pillar of stone carved with markings you don't recognize. Now you find yourself in a dark, unfamiliar room, decorated with shelves of books and an ornate writing desk. You're not sure what you're supposed to be looking for here. Behind the desk stands a plinth. On top of it, encased in glass, is an iron tablet. It's important. Just looking at it makes you feel the same tingling in your knuckles and at the back of your skull. It's for you. You certainly can't let anyone else find it.
I advance towards the tablet, I suppose.
Feel yourself sort of remove the glass casing from the plinth. And as you reach out to touch it, the tingling increases. And the moment you touch the tablet, your hands turn to worms and you're back in the alley.
I mean, that's unlike other panic attacks I've had because of social interaction.